up next, it's Boomeraction on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's more of Boomeraction on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's more of Boomeraction on Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
A continuación, más de Boomeraction en Boomerang de Cartoon Network. A continuación, más de Boomeraction en Boomerang de Cartoon Network.
Coming up next, it's the Super Friends on Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Coming up next, the Super Friends on the Boomeraction Marathon.
Coming up next, it's Johnny Quest on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's more Johnny Quest on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Johnny Quest on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's more Johnny Quest on Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
En instantes, Johnny Quest, el Boomerang de Cartoon Network. En instantes, Johnny Quest, el Boomerang de Cartoon Network.
Coming up next, it's Thundercats on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's G.I. Joe on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Space Ghost and Dino Boy on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Space Ghost and Dino Boy on Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
En instantes, Fantasma del Espacio y Dino Boy, el Boomerang de Cartoon Network. En instantes, Fantasma del Espacio y Dino Boy, el Boomerang de Cartoon Network.
Takia Poku, Space Ghost, no Boomerang, to Cartoon Network. Takia Poku, Space Ghost, no Boomerang, to Cartoon Network.
Coming up next, Forza 5 Horizon on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's the Herculoids on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Herbie on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Pokemon on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Thundar on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Pirates of Darkwater on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's the Fantastic Four on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's the Fantastic Four on Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
A continuación, Los Cuatro Fantásticos en Boomerang de Cartoon Network. A continuación, Los Cuatro Fantásticos en Boomerang de Cartoon Network.
Daqui a pouco, os Quatro Fantásticos no Boomerang do Cartoon Network. Daqui a pouco, os Quatro Fantásticos no Boomerang do Cartoon Network.
Coming up next, it's the Valley of the Dinosaurs on Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Oh, my silver servant.
Coming up next, it's the Silver Surfer on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Ghostbusters on Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Coming up next, Adventures of Gulliver on Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Daqui a pouco, o poderoso Hércules no Boomerang.
Daqui a pouco, Flash Gordon no Boomerang.
Coming up next, it's Godzilla on Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Coming up next, Superman, Batman, Adventures on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Coming up next, Superman, Batman, Adventures continues on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Coming up next, Sky Commanders on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Young Robin Hood on Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Coming up next, Speed Racer on Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
En instantes, Meteoro por Boomerang de Cartoon Network.
Coming up next, Birdman and the Galaxy Trio on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Battle of the Planets Marathon continues next on Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Transformar! Daqui a pouco, G-Force, Defensores do Espaço no Boomerang.
En instantes, Birdman y Galaxy Trio por Boomerang de Cartoon Network. En instantes, Birdman y Galaxy Trio por Boomerang de Cartoon Network.
Coming up next, it's Justice League Unlimited on Boomeraction. Coming up next, it's the Batman on Boomeraction. Coming up next, Shazam on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. Coming up next, it's Batman Beyond on Boomeraction. Coming up next, it's Mobius and Gundam on Boomeraction.
Daqui a pouco,